Hey guys, welcome back to Progressive Watch. So, Palestine had a very bad year last year, and it's in no thanks to Israel's attack on Palestine and their unfortunate maneuvers. Coming from the United Nations, and I quote, Palestine suffered a dramatic increase in fatalities last year, with more than 50 killed by Israelis in 2014, more than any other period since 1967. Let me pause there for a second. There have been some bad years since 1967, but this year overall was the worst year in over 45 years. You know why? It stems from the 50-day attack that Israel had on Palestine, killing thousands of people. As this goes on to state, moving on, a total of 2,314 Palestinian deaths and 1,725 injuries occurred just the calendar year solely based from Israel's presence. In addition, 1,492 civilians were killed. I want to talk about the people affected here. I mean, yeah, there's some militants, there's some military individuals that may have some effect on Israel, but the civilians are the people that are taking humongous hits overall. They're accounting for more than half the total right here. In addition, if we juxtapose that with what Israel's had in deaths, and I quote, the report notes 71 Israelis, 66 of them soldiers were killed. That's it. That's it. It's basically the United States, if we were going to give a perspective more known to the United States, it's essentially the United States versus Mexico. Mexico doesn't have the technology, and they're trying to fight with the United States. And guess what's happening? They're failing miserably, and thousands of people are dying. They're throwing little rockets, whereas the United States has nukes that they're throwing right back at Mexico, and it's causing nothing but damage. You want to know about the people that are most affected? Let's look at the children. And I quote, 185 Palestinian children are held every month in military detention in the West Bank and in East Jerusalem. So what they're doing here is that they've been torturing Palestinian children, and they've been putting them in horrendous circumstances within the country. In addition, we've had thousands of children die. In fact, 551 just this past calendar year. So we're seeing humongous effects overall. So what do we see from the Republicans? What the Republicans want to do is they want to continue with the same strategy. We don't want to talk with the enemy. We don't want to talk with Palestine. Well, Palestine may have some misguided ones. They might have some misguided needs. But that's no reason for us to continue to fight with them and killing them. Because we should aim before we shoot. We shouldn't keep attacking a situation when thousands of civilians, hundreds of children are dying every year in this area. That's just not right. That's just not logical. Yeah, your interest may be with the military-industrial complex. Yes, I'm talking to the conservative Republicans, and that's how you're making your money. And let's not count the Democrats who are solely going along with this and for the most part supporting it. We cannot have that message, because what does that stick? That entails dogma that leads us down a path of no return, because more deaths and more of this just leads to the people just saying, screw it, I'm going to go join a terrorist organization. You're going to see more uptick in organizations such as Boko Haram and ISIS. That's not what the United States, that's not what Israel, and that's what these nations can stand for. What we must stand for is diplomacy in a two-step solution, because that's the only way we're going to get these people better. They're not going to want to live in a society where they're always going to be bombed. They're going to want to live in a society where they have a stable infrastructure, education, and an ability to move up. They don't have that right now, and that's why we're going to see continuing suffering and religious dogma that persists in these areas. So guys, if we want to see change, here's what we have to do. We have to support a diplomatic solution that entails a two-state solution. So that only happens through you guys voting. Okay, during our last midterm election, we had about a third of our citizens vote. That's impossible. I wasn't 18 yet, so I couldn't vote. But if I would have definitely voted for the most progressive candidate. On any sick, when you're looking at your local candidates, up to your governor, up to your president, you have to vote. It's the only way we're going to get change. Vote for the more liberal candidate. They may not have everything you're looking for, but vote for them. Give them an opportunity. That's how we're going to see progressive change. Thank you, guys.